You're going to need to run and not walk to make this. Come on. Hey RainBaes, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, don't forget to go check out some of my previously posted videos. Today I will be sharing with you all a recipe that I'll be using to make some homemade marinara sauce. I can either be used for pizza or for pasta. I know for my household, my children love eating spaghetti, so that's what I'll be using my recipe for. So let's get right into this recipe. So here I have some freshly picked tomatoes from my garden that I've already cleaned and rinsed. And over here I'm soaking some basil, and I'm also soaking a little baby onion that I found in the garden that I'll be using for this recipe. It wasn't quite ready yet, but I ran out of onions from the grocery store. While this stuff is soaking, I will be filling up a pot of water so that way we can get some of these skins on these tomatoes removed. I have my pot of water here boiling on the stove, so let's go ahead and prep the tomatoes so that we can get the skin peeled off of them. Alright, so I'm aware that there's a few different ways to do this, however this is the way I do it. So I just cut a split into the tomatoes. This will make it easier to just peel the skin right off after they boil. After I get them all split, I'll be removing these top parts. And really you want to get rid of anything that's kind of hard because you don't want to be chewing your pasta sauce. You want to, especially if you're getting your tomatoes straight from your garden, you want to make sure that you get some nice red tomatoes. Alright, our water is nice and hot now. Let's go ahead and stick the tomatoes in this pot. And we're just going to let them boil for about 3 minutes. Not too long, but long enough to get them nice and soft. That way we can easily remove the skin on the tomatoes. So let's do 3 minutes. And while we're doing that, I'm just going to gather these to put in the compost when I'm able to step back outside to the garden. I like to save all of my vegetable and fruit cuttings to either freeze them for teas, but not tomatoes, or save them for compost. I'm also going to save these seeds to put inside of the pasta sauce as well. So I'm just pushing them to the side, and I'm going to go ahead and cut up some basil. Now it's time to chop up the basil. I'm removing the stems because I don't want the taste of the basil to overwhelm the pasta sauce too much, because again, I'm making this for my children, and sometimes small kids can be very picky. I love the way fresh basil smells. I want to go ahead and do my little baby onion. Alright, now that they're done boiling, I'm going to go ahead and strain them. And then I'm going to rinse them off with some cold water. The tomatoes are somewhat cool, so let's go ahead and peel off the skin. And look at how easy the skin comes off. right off. And got a nice tomato. So you're just gonna go ahead and peel off all the skin on each of your tomatoes, big and small. Now that the tomatoes are peeled, I'm gonna go ahead and cook them down some in the same pot I used to boil them with some olive oil, just a drizzle. And I'll be cooking the tomatoes down for about 15 minutes. And as they're cooking down, you want to make sure that you're removing anything that's kind of hard. Maybe in the inside there might be some type of core or something to that effect. I'm also going to go ahead and pour these seeds and the juice in here. I'm going to go ahead and add in a little of salt. I have pink Himalayan salt. Feel free to use whatever kind of salt you all have or that you use. I don't have too much fancy cooking equipment, so I'm using what I have to mash up these tomato and to make sure that there's no hard parts in this before I decide to stick them into my blender. While these are cooking down, I'm going to go ahead and sear some onions and some garlic. In this pot, I just have some more olive oil, and I'm just gonna let that heat up a second. So we have here our garlic, basil, and fresh onions. We're just gonna let these cook for about 2 to 3 minutes. We don't want to burn them. We just want to get them a little soft. Go ahead and put our onions and our garlic into our tomatoes. I'm gonna let this cook for about another 5 minutes before we get our blender out so that we can blend. This part is optional, but before we blend, I'm going to add some more salt to our sauce, some pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, tablespoons of brown sugar. That pepper got me sneezing. Okay, give this another mix. It smells really good. I'm super excited. It smells awesome. All right, now it's time to blend. Alright, so I have my blender out. I have about 35 ounces of pasta sauce that I need to blend. And before we go ahead and blend, I know y'all see what's going on here. This blender is old. I've had it for a while and I'm doing what works for me right now. I can't afford to get a new blender. This one still functions for me. It's just not super aesthetic, and that's okay. So the pizza or the pasta sauce is in. I'm gonna put the fresh basil in. So I'm gonna put my top on and I'm gonna blend. Now that everything is nice and blended, it smells amazing. Let's go ahead and pour it back in here. It's still piping hot. And I'm also going to transfer this into a mason jar. Oh my goodness, this turned out to be so good. This is delicious. If you've been putting off making some homemade pasta sauce, pizza sauce, or you just don't know what to do with your tomatoes or with your herbs, go ahead and make you some of this. You will not regret it. I'm telling you, it is so good. Before you make your pasta, try to let your sauce sit for at least a day or so, just so that all of those seasonings, all of those flavors will absorb in the sauce. Everybody knows spaghetti tastes so much better when you let it sit in the refrigerator for a little bit, and same for the sauce. But run, don't walk to go ahead and make this. I'll catch you all on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.